and we are a few meters from the crossing between Poland and Ukraine. You can see it's just there, probably 500, 700 meters from us. And as you can see here, there are many tents where the Ukrainian refugees are hosted after a long and exhausting journey towards a safe place.
So we're trying to find people to take our stuff to donate to.
To wasze, podaj, tam, to wasze. To nasze? Tak. Zaczytaj linii. O, teraz jest. Piękna.
Wiedziałem, bo tutaj jest następna
Ale to
rodzina.
jest, no to jest to, widzisz?
Tak, tak. Proszę. To tej pani to jest.
So my main motivation for volunteering would probably be I never grew up with a lot of things, and I see people who grew up with even less than what I had. So when I see that, I just feel like I have to help, whether that's going into credit card debt, buying Christmas presents for orphans in the US or in Germany. This is just one other thing that I feel I should do to help.
Hola, soy Andrea, de la Asociación Española Conexión Creando Puentes. Y lo que me ha traído aquí es un deseo de poder ayudar a los refugiados ucranianos que están llegando aquí en Polonia y también aportar mi ayuda a los voluntarios locales, los voluntarios polacos y también los otros voluntarios internacionales.
I've been volunteering for a good portion of my life. Probably as soon as I got out of high school and I got a job in the military. Whenever I started getting money, that's when I started volunteering. It just happened probably every Christmas. Right before Christmas, I started donating or volunteering to certain people or charities. And
Debo decir que mis padres, desde que yo era pequeño, me transfirieron este deseo de ayudar al prójimo y desde entonces esa actitud siempre me ha acompañado. Entonces he trabajado como voluntario en diferentes organizaciones por toda mi vida hasta que en 2014 pudimos crear nuestra organización Conexión Creando Puentes en España. Y por eso que estoy aquí también para compartir con los otros voluntarios nuestro deseo de aportar nuestro granito de arena delante de esta tragedia que está afectando a los ucranianos.
Do angielskiego? Nie, ale nie szukałem. Szukałeś czy nie szukałeś? A rozbiło się? Tak. Co ja z wami mam?
Well, my motivation, it's difficult to say about motivation because, Ukraine is a neighboring country. And this is, even though I grew up in communist Poland and I did experience some closed war states in Poland, but it was nothing like that what's happening over there in Ukraine. So this is first time in my life that I experienced war that is happening literally 2 hours away from my own house. And I am a mother, I've got 2 boys, and seeing these people coming, mothers with their children, being sent away alone, it just broke my heart, and I was thinking like, what would I do? And that it would be such a enormous relief to have somewhere to go, to have someone help me to settle down, help me get food, clothing, or just to watch TV with me. There are children coming and they are deeply traumatized. We have a family at my friend's place. There's a 2-year-old over there, and they were hiding in a cellar for many, many days. And the kid was playing inside the flat, and someone slammed the door, and he immediately put his backpack on, and he wanted to go into the cellar just to hide from the bombing. So I think the motivation is pure sympathy with those people and wanting to give them a helping hand in this terrible, terrible times. And maybe just thinking also that hopefully I will never have to make choices like those people needed to make. There were grandma and her granddaughter who were staying at my place. They run together, but the parents of the daughter they stayed in Ukraine because their parents were also there. So they needed to make a choice whether I'm leaving with my child, but I'm leaving my own parents behind.
No, just to look, and I want to go there and support, do something.
Yeah, but I think there's enough people there. I think that's where the main concentration of Red Cross, Samaritans, because that's the very, very first point of legging it from Ukraine. I now need food and help. So I think that the border is where all the medicine's gone and all the initial supplies. And I think that you possibly find that there's so many volunteers there.
I feel like people would be scared to go to the border.
You're right. Yeah, because of what might. Which, you kind of think, Putin is an absolute lunatic. Accidentally drop a bomb on Medica.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, didn't mean to. So it's dangerous. It's dangerous. And it's like.
So you think there's more volunteers there than there is here?
Yes, from what my mate Rob, he was posting on Facebook every day of videos of here's me in Medica.
Well, how long I've been volunteering to help Ukrainians? Well, from the very first moment I heard about the beginning of the war, and I rolled myself in help people to get accommodation. So I just registered myself on an online document to be able to receive refugees in my own place. Already on Saturday, first people arrived, a family of 4, a mother, a father and grandma and a daughter of 14. They stayed a few days with us, and then they moved on to France where they wanted to be, and then we had a grandma and a daughter and a bird. She came with an owl, which was pretty interesting because I thought people were be coming with pets like cats or dogs, but I've never experienced having an owl as a home pet. So the girl had a pet with her, a bird, and they were going to their aunt in Spain, in Madrid. The first few days the girl didn't want to eat, she didn't want to speak. They were coming from Kharkiv. So people are, especially kids, traumatized. And it was terrible to just hear the background noises when they are calling their families in Ukraine. The bombing, sometimes it's really surrealistic still to think that I'm having war refugees at my own place. Right now there's a family of 5, 3 kids and parents, and we are looking for a permanent place for them to stay, as they want to stay in Krakow. You see people coming with only 1 suitcase of clothing, or people coming with plastic bags filled with all the necessary things they've taken from their houses. It's heartbreaking what you see here. The railway station is a nightmare. People arriving by trains or buses from the Ukrainian border without any plan, without some people without any money.
Zielona Góra, stacji Jelenia Góra, przez stację Częstochowa.
Chłopaki!
Piotr, pytanie było, jak się poznaliśmy, jak się stało, że tu jesteś ze swoją rodziną?
Познались я был волонтером на одном кордоне в Przemyśle и познакомился там с Дашей, который później позвонил, что мы допомагаем всем украинцам. Хотел запитать, чи може Даша мне помочь с жильем, бо я на той момент жил у коллеги, до которого їхала родина з України. І він мені говорить, що Петя, до мене їде моя дружина з дітьми і мусиш якби знайти собі мешкання. І я тоді задзвонив до Даші і спитав, чи може Даша мені повідать, чи допоможе з мешканням у Польщі. І тоді Даша мене познайомила з пані Асією, і Ася мене вже забрала до себе додому, і później приїхала моя родина.
A to było zaraz na samym początku, jak się wojna zaczęła. To jak się czujesz tu u nas, Piotr, ty i twoja rodzina?
У нас, як то по-польськи?
Na początku?
На початку то не мог зрозуміти, як то поляки такі щирі, так дуже допомагають українцям, бо в Україні не всі люди такі, що допомагають друг другу, а от поляків то настільки приємно було то все відчувати, що то не можна описати за дуже слов. То просто має бути десь тут у грудях, бо то такі непередаваємі чувства. Я
Nie
знаю,
da
что
się
по-польски.
słowami
Да,
powiedzieć.
да, nie da się. No, w Paniasie my mieszkamy już około miesiąca i będzie jeszcze żyć do czwartka, bo w czwartki Paniasia nam dopomogła znaleźć mieszkanie, w jakim my będziemy przeżywać всей rodziną. No i переїжджаючи на нове мешкання, залишимося, напевно, в Польщі, тому що не мам де жити в Україні і не розуміємо, що робити далі.
I think a lot of the Ukrainians are staying in Poland because it's close to home. So if your home was getting destroyed, but maybe you had hopes of going back one day, you'd probably want to stay close by. Also, the language is semi-similar compared to German or Italian or French. It would make more sense to me to stay in a nearby country.
Tak jak u nas polski był gnębiony, tak tam ukraiński był gnębiony. I to się po prostu przemieszało.
The reason why Ukrainians want to stay in Poland are few, I believe. Some of them think that the war will finish anytime soon and they just want to stay as close to their home country as possible so they can go back anytime. The other reason is the cultural closeness. So I think that Poland and Ukraine are the closest neighbors, food, and of course the language. I've been working with Ukrainian people at my own company that I own. I hire 2 Ukrainian girls. After just few months, it is very easy to understand them, and it's the same with the Ukrainians. When they come here, they can really speak Polish very well after a few months. So this is what makes them want to stay in Poland. However, this is a very tricky situation because people don't want to move any further, and soon there will be a humanitarian crisis here in Poland, in Krakow, for example, in big cities. We can't have any more people here in the cities. The cities will have lack of accommodation, schools will be soon overcrowded, lousy medical help because there will be too many people. So it is necessary that people travel further. Right now there's already a huge problem to find accommodation for Ukrainians. People welcome them in their homes, but this situation can be sustained for a few months. You can't have people living at your place for month and month in a row. And it is also economically difficult for Poland. We are not the richest country, and it is going to become a problem. Soon people will think Ukrainians are taking our jobs, they are taking our flats, houses, they are taking our places at schools, at kindergartens. I've been working with few groups from abroad, from Spain, Holland, trying to organize allocation for those people. But people are not willing to travel.
A wszystkim to все.
Tak. Gdzieś jest gruby strasznie. No. On musi więcej chodzić w kółko. Ja mam też tyle ręce.
Тут треба, щоб ми всі разом були, щоб ти це.
Там все так же є багато людей.
І не всі.
Ну всі.
Ну, я на даний період, як то.
W tym okresie.
В тим окресі я працюю в Польщі кіровцем, розвожу їждження по готелям. Діти наші дружать з пані Асією дітьми, ходять на екскурсії до wycieczki i
Czasem idziemy na basen. Moi synowie dużo czasu spędzają z Arsenim, z ich starszym synem. My mamy psy, oni przywieźli też swojego psa, więc też chodzimy na spacery z psami. No ja niestety pracuję w ciągu dnia, więc też nie jestem tak bardzo dużo z nimi, ale oni sobie bardzo dobrze tu radzą.
Później ja myślę, co dzieci pójdą do szkoły w Polsce. Mniejsza Ania pójdzie u żłobek.
Do przedszkola.
Do przedszkola. No a Arsenij może, jak wszystko będzie dobrze, to piłka nożna akademia, jak może. Zobaczymy po czasu.
Desde que he llegado aquí en Polonia, pude ver cómo los refugiados ucranianos son recibidos y duermen en carpas como la que está detrás de mí, o en las estaciones de los trenes, en las escuelas y bueno, en otras estructuras del gobierno local. Yo creo que el gobierno polaco está haciendo mucho para los refugiados. Estuvo aquí trabajando juntos con militares, policía. Ellos nos ayudaron a mover comidas, objetos y personas del ayuntamiento que nos han visitado. Sí, yo creo que Polonia está mostrando gran solidaridad hacia los ucranianos.
Desde que he llegado aquí he podido constatar que hay muchísimas organizaciones nacionales e internacionales que están ayudando a los refugiados ucranianos. Aquí en Cracovia yo he estado ayudando al equipo de la Caritas, del World Central Kitchen, pero ayer cuando fuimos a la frontera con Ucrania y pude ver las carpas de muchísimas organizaciones, las de las Naciones Unidas, la IOM, la Cruz Roja, la ayuda humanitaria, muchísima. La respuesta ha sido muy grande de parte de todos.
You know why I look like an Oriental guy? Because
the museum in Zaporizhia was looted and ancient library in Kharkiv was damaged. Russian soldiers are massacring volunteers and clerics in Ukraine. Because tomorrow, war may come to you and destroy your life, like already destroyed ours.
Don't keep silence! Don't keep silence! Don't keep silence! NATO blows the sky! 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 NATO blows the sky!
that those people in Ukraine, they are living in a much bigger fear. So some people maybe are passing here nearby and they have some fear to join this demonstration to come closer, right? But you should put yourself into the shoes of those people in Ukraine, right? Who are hiding in a basement and bombs are falling. People who are like sitting hungry, people, pregnant mothers who are fleeing their maternity ward. NATO close the sky! NATO close the sky!
psychological also help to refugees in Krakow. I believe there's a lot of it. The one that is visible on the main station is mostly for kids, for children. There's something like clowns and people making balloons and attraction for children, because for children it's most difficult time. I'm volunteering like from few hours, but they are helping most in the main train station. So I'm working with them, and they need biggest number of volunteers. It's like a scout organization in the West.
So I have them in my car. Can I give you my keys? You got them. At the moment.
It wasn't like.
Hey, you want some other places?
We need to find the trolley, right?
Yeah.
Where can we find the trolley? Down there?
Whenever there's one over there behind ourselves.
I didn't think we were gonna cross the border, but apparently people are walking from here over to the border and then coming right back with supplies. It's crazy.
To the refugees who are standing in the line to cross the border. Brought, and we're gonna go.
Okay, continue. Oh wow, you did buy a lot of chocolate. So, these are supplies that we picked up last night in Krakow. I posted on my Instagram a story of asking people from the US to donate. They donated a bunch of money and sent it to me here, and that's when I bought all these supplies for them.
Because Trevor, you know, is very brave, but
We just got to pretty much the border, and apparently you can cross with a passport, but the amount of time that it might take for us to get back across to Poland might be really long, and unfortunately we don't have that much time to stay and wait. So for now we're going to take the supplies that we have and we're going to move to the next city over near the bus station and drop off the supplies that need it to the Ukrainians that need it there.
I know the situation in Ukraine is terrible. I'm sorry for these people, and I got a lot of free time also. If I can do something to help in Krakow, I can use my free time, not to play on some computer game or read a book, not to waste all of time of my day, but to do something to be more active also.
There are different groups. Some people have their friends or families here, so they go and have accommodation arranged by friends or family. Others, and this is the very, very large group that came in the first few days, in the first week, they were taken in by just private people like myself. I've had 20 people over at my place, just giving shelter to them for their first few nights, so they could just think what they want to do. Whether they want to stay in Poland, in Krakow, for example, so they were looking for a flat to rent, for a job, or whether they were wanting to go further. Some people sleep at the railway station because, for example, they arrive by train or by bus, and they have train or bus or whatever the next day. So if you enter the railway station, the platforms, you see people sleeping on the floors. After this first week, I think, private organizations in Krakow, like hotel owners, owners of some sports center, they decided to take people in that offer shelter, like it is a refugee center, so they just sleep in one big room. It is almost impossible to rent a flat in Krakow right now. People are a bit afraid to rent flats to Ukrainians, even if they want to pay, because people think, okay, they will pay in the first month, 2, 3, and what if they run out of money, they can't find a job, who's going to pay me then? So the situation is getting pretty critical as far as accommodation and sleeping places are considered in Krakow. So this is why we encourage people to travel western. There are so many Western European countries offering transportation, accommodation. I've been working with Spain, Holland, my other volunteer friends with France, Denmark, Norway, but people are afraid to travel. First, they're afraid because it's far away, it's a different language, and they're afraid what will happen there, whether it's going to be good, whether it's safe. Usually those are mothers with kids. So, and they're just getting on a bus. Of course, we try to give them all the necessary information to check everything and to make it as safe as possible with the passport details of the people that travel with the recommendation letters from villages, cities that
A lot of people from Ukraine came to Krakow and to Warsaw. There's one point at train station. There's Caritas tent behind us. One big tent is also for staying. Also in Krakow there was a lot of Ukrainian people who came here to work before war for few years. They are coming. I think that they are helping each other, but a lot of people in Krakow also offered their apartments, their flats, one room in two-room apartment, for example.
Krystian, zejdź na dół.
Nic tutaj nie dostanie.
On cały noc
Jaja znowu, on nie je jaja.
To możesz kapnąć na pancake.
No pancake. Pancake z tabasco. I try to create comfortable conditions for these people, but I've had 20 people in my house, so it is a big chaos what we're living in. We have mattresses everywhere, we have clothes everywhere, we have carton boxes. So it is not perfect, but I think for them the fact that they are safe, that they're at home, that we live together, because we've been like a family for the past month. So yeah, like you see, I gave them their own place, so they have their own rooms. My house is big enough, so they have their private bathroom as well. And in the beginning, I moved from my own bedroom to my children, so we were sleeping in one bedroom together. And in all the other places, we had Ukrainian refugees staying. Because the beginning was really, really difficult. There were thousands of people coming every hour. The floods on the border, you could see.
Ані неонацисти, хоча ж існує już dowody na to, że rosyjscy okupanci otrzymali rozkaz strzelania do cywilów.
Слава нації! Смерть ворогам! Слава нації! Смерть ворогам! Україна! Понад усе! Україна! Понад усе! Україна! Понад усе!
People, you have to wake up. It's a wake-up call for each of you to start doing. A lot of countries were saying a lot of things. Time now to act. I don't know what you need to do. I need to stop the war. We need to stop the war. We need to stop bombing innocent people, and then we can talk. Then we can try to understand. I cannot comprehend why would someone like that being, I don't want to call him name, but somebody supports him. I don't understand how Russian warriors, whatever they are, pull the triggers. I don't understand that. We're not animals, we're humans. We need to stand by each other. We can be indestructible. There is a great video, and I'm not promoting anything, on YouTube called "The Burning Hope Will Never Leave Us." People die right now. You have to understand that. We have to be, if we together, if we stand by each other's side, we have a chance. If there's going to be a nuclear bomb, we are done. One question is, why? Why would you do this? Not enough power, not enough money? It's all irrelevant. Message of hope and of freedom. If we not unite, we're not going to have tomorrow. There is no tomorrow, because tomorrow we may be dead.
NATO close the sky! NATO close the sky! NATO close the sky! NATO close the sky!
There are many families who host refugees, but everything depends on how much place you have or what you can really offer. But mostly people give one room in their own flat. We were happy to give the places we have free at home, But most of my friends are helping and hosting families.
You're not your group is not allowed.
The border crossing, and as you can see here, there are different tents belonging to the UNICEF, and on the other side we have the World Central Kitchen, the UN, YOM tent, and many others. And today, for some reason, few refugees are crossing the border. We don't know why.
Alors la motivation pour venir jusque-là, c'est la solidarité qu'il y a eu chez nous dans une ville qui s'appelle Carnac en Bretagne. Donc on a voulu venir avec plein de nourriture, de l'eau, et essayer d'aider tout simplement les enfants, les familles, les parents. Voilà, on a fait à peu près 2300 km pour venir jusqu'à vous, et notre motivation c'est simplement l'aide et l'entraide.
D'accord. Et vous restez combien de temps ici?
Nous allons rester 4-5 jours et repartir vers la France, tout simplement. Peut-être en emmenant une famille avec nous ou des enfants si nécessaire.
This is the club.
Governmental help, it's a very tricky question because actually there's no governmental help. Well, Poland opened their borders to welcome refugees here, but there's no coordination coming from our government. There's no official help. I've been very much involved in the whole process of helping. I've been working, even though I'm just a private person, I'm not in any NGO or in any other organization, but I've been working together with Krakow Scout Group and with NGOs that are in Krakow. People want to help, but help also needs to be done in an organized way. Our government is saying big words, but not really helping with anything like in real. We, like volunteers, we've been working day and nights for the past 3 weeks, but it's emotionally and physically just draining. I don't know how much I slept in the past 3 weeks, but not much. And doing all this, being based on volunteers, it's not sustainable. We won't be able to make it happen for a longer period of time. We've taken refugees into our homes, but how long can we have those people without any governmental help? Everyone from my friends who offered a place to refugees, they were saying, okay, 2, 3, 4 weeks. But what if war doesn't finish after 4 weeks? We won't be kicking these people out of our homes, but it is difficult to live with someone you barely know and to give your house to someone who is a total stranger to you.
You just got to go in downstairs. Very, very old. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms. They're quite small. Yeah. Go to.
So which team do you support?
Swansea City.
Swansea. My wife's Swansea.
This woman is coming in here.
Okay.
Yes? System now. Yeah. I'm struggling to adapt.
Okay, there is some psychological help being offered to refugees. However, it's definitely not something organized. It's more like people speaking Ukrainian, being psychologists themselves here in Krakow. They offer help. Because when I was hosting the woman with her granddaughter, the granddaughter was pretty traumatized. She didn't want to eat, she didn't want to speak for the first few days. And I posted on Facebook to my friends, like, is there someone who can take them for a walk so she could just forget about what's happening. In the beginning of the war, when people escaped, they didn't see much of the situation when they were going through the country. And when people are escaping right now, they see the disaster that has happened to their homeland. They see bombs falling, they see everything what was just gone. So yeah, the later people leave, the worse their psychological condition is. Some people don't want to talk about this because they have their kids with them all the time, so they don't want to worry their kids. I had a group of 6 women, young women from Kiev, and when they were calling their families, you could hear the background noises, the war zone background noises. The reception was being broken from time to time. I think there will be a lot of psychological help needed for those people, especially kids. A 2-year-old one that came from Kiev a few days ago. Him and his family, they were hiding in the cellar for a few days from bombing, and the kid was playing in the living room and someone slammed the door, and he immediately put his backpack on his back and wanted to go to the cellar because he thought it was bombs falling again. I think that people are very much in shock right now. They might not realize what is really happening. I was helping a mother with 2 small daughters. She was walking for 14 kilometers with her 4-year-old one and an 8-year-old one to get to the border. And she said what I saw on the way was just devastating.
Your aim here is like to put people up.
Yeah, and to welcome the people that are coming from Ukraine.
And normally you work at home as
I'm a pianist.
As a pianist.
Yeah, I'm a pianist.
How that idea came to you? This is not the first time I do this. Like I
Okay.
do, like sometimes I play piano on protests.
Okay.
Or like Maidan, I've been in Maidan.
Oh, seriously? Oh.
Yeah, or Donetsk, 2013, Afghanistan.
A lot of people from Ukraine is staying in Poland. I think because there was a big Ukrainian diaspora, a lot of work emigration, and the war in Ukraine really started like 4 years ago, annexion of Crimea and other republics, and people were coming to Poland not maybe as refugees, but just to get a better life. Some people even ask me about traveling by tram to Turkey. I think there's no connection from Krakow to Turkey or from Poland, other than airplane. But for sure, a lot of people from Belarus, from Ukraine, will stay in Poland.
I will reach the end. Wait here or you come with me?
If there's any psychological help that they can get, I don't believe as of right now there is. I have first-hand experience with that because I had a Ukrainian man yelling at me in Russian or Ukrainian, and I was
volunteering at the time.
And I didn't know what he was saying, so I asked the person next to me to translate, and he basically told me that the man yelling at me was saying, why are you not fighting for Ukraine? Why are you not there? I think his mental state was not good. He had tunnel vision. He couldn't see the clear things that
were around him. Like I was speaking English.
And I was helping volunteer. So that just makes me sad to see the mental state that they're in, and that's why I don't think they're getting any help right now. But I could be wrong.
Men between 18 and 60 are not allowed to leave Ukraine anymore. I think that this decree happened a few days after the beginning of the war. There are some exceptions. So, for example, if there are, I think, more than 3 kids in the family, the man can accompany a woman. Where there are always discussions like, oh, people should go and fight, but this is what men do, that men should fight, women take care of the children. I don't judge. I have no right to judge men, not the ones who are staying and fighting, not the ones who are leaving with their women. I hope my family will never ever be in a situation like that, that the choices like that needed to be made. I can't even imagine how difficult it must be to decide I'm leaving my family to fight for my own home country, but I might not see my kids or my wife anymore. Right now, I think most of women just think about here and now. They think about their well-being and the well-being of their kids, that they are safe. But all of the people who come here, they leave someone behind. They whether leave their parents who are unable to travel for such a long journey, or they simply don't want to leave their home country.
We are now at the train station of Przemyśl, where the Ukrainians will arrive from the border crosser taken by bus. And from here, they, after receiving some help, food, clothes, they will be sent to different cities around Poland. The Caritas is receiving our gifts for the Ukrainian refugees, and they will be distributed inside the train station.